Well, hello and welcome. I hope you're all doing well and that you are ready for this video. I'm hoping actually that your plants are happy and healthy and that we're not at a stage where you've already got pests, although I will be getting to that towards the end of the video. But this video is mostly about pest preventative. So I'm going to take you through some of the things that I do on a regular when I'm on point, when I am not kind of, distracted by anything from the outside world. I think there's going to be 7 tips, and most definitely I do at least 3 out of the 7 once a week. So anyway, I'm going to talk you through those steps and I will be showing you some of the plants whilst I do that and show you what I'm using. So get yourself nice and cozy. You might grab a cup of tea. It's a gloomy day today, so I thought it'd be the perfect day if I do find any pests, which I don't think I will, but fingers crossed that won't happen. But if I do, at least it's gloomy enough today for me to spray the plants or do something. Okay, so let's get into this video. So my first tip would be spacing. I tend to like to place my plants so that they're not touching. I feel that this works as a preventative. If one plant has a pest and they are touching, then the likelihood of that pest moving to one of the other plants is kind of high up there. It can happen. It can happen anyway, but just by spacing them gives you a little chance to react, especially if you are checking your plants every day. With the Hoyas, of course, they have a mind of their own. So as you can see, it's hard to stop them from touching. They are always leaning out to try and find something. But my experience with the Hoyas has been that the pests that they tend to get are mealy bug. I've not actually had any other pest. I know that you can also get flat mites and so that's those babies. So the next step is to keep your leaves as dust-free as possible. Just keep them dust-free because spider mite will absolutely love your plant if it's covered in dust. Now, it's easier to remove dust from plants that are smooth, but then when you come across to plants that are kind of more velvety, it can be a little harder. What I like to do is also add some neem oil to the water. This does have a bit of a smell and I've got quite a sensitive nose, so I will mix in like a peppermint oil. I'm currently using tea tree oil because I've run out of peppermint oil. And I also have some lavender oil, which I haven't tried yet, but I do like the smell of lavender oil. And I think it's fairly safe to use these types of oils. I've got the pure form and I just put 1 or 2 drops of that in. So this product is actually really cool because you don't actually need to add any dish soap. The instructions on the back just tell you to shake the bottle first, and the ratio that you'll be using is 1 ml to each 100. You can either put it into a spray bottle or you can douse your plant, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. Most of the, well, not most of them, but a lot of my plants I will put into the shower because it's just a quick and effective way of doing 2 things. One, like this guy I put in the shower very recently and look how happy it's looking. So shiny and clean. Gave it a good hose down and it also got a good watering. I do like to put the Monstera Thai Constellation in the shower, although it is getting to a stage where it's quite big and it's a little bit of a squeeze, but it absolutely loves it. The elbow, the Monstera elbow, which is on a moss pole. So for 2 reasons, I put this plant in the shower. Not only do I wash the leaves down, making sure that all the dust is gone, I'm watering that moss pole. So with this plant, with the Monstera elbow, and with my Splendid right here, which I just extended the pole. So with those 2 plants in particular, they go into the shower once a week. A lot of my philodendrons I will shower. They're mostly in the hallway at the moment. But they tend to, some of my philodendrons give out like a sticky sap, and I can't remember the name of it. I think it's extra floral nectarine, something like that. And that will be found on the back of the plant, on the back of the leaf. You'll not see any on this plant because it has been recently showered. Look at that leaf. Oh, gorgeous. Yeah, you want to get rid of that sticky sap, and I'm going to show you exactly why you want to get rid of it. So with the oldest leaf, this is obviously something that I learned from my experience with this leaf all the way down here. If I get in really close, you will be able to see it. Okay, there we go. So can you see those little brown dots? And you can see them there as well. So that was actually caused by ectofloral nectarine, the sticky sap. It was all on the back of the leaf, and when the sun hit this leaf, it burned in those areas. So those are tiny little burn marks. It could easily be mistaken as a spider mite, but a spider mite looks much more severe than that. It doesn't look dotty. So yeah, that is the reason why this guy gets extra special treatment. And all the philodendrons, I just find it's quick, it's easy, and it's effective. And then the leaf is velvety, so it means I'm not having to rub it down with a cloth, which really just doesn't work with the velvet leaf plants. With the smooth leaves, you could just go in with one of these or whatever cloth that you find easiest for you, and just kind of give it a good old wash down. Tip number 3 is to check for bugs. So, I mean, if you're wiping down your plants, you'll probably do it on a monthly basis. But I would imagine that, like me, you are staring at your plants on a daily basis. And, you know, instead of just staring at them, you can also just have a quick check. Check out this new leaf. But whilst looking for that new leaf, I can look up under this leaf in particular. Sorry, I wasn't really looking at the leaf properly. But yeah, the newest leaf will be the one that gets attacked. And the pest could be found on the leaf that's kind of close to it. It's very hard to find a pest when your plant's leaf is still unfurling. But yeah, if you're going to find a pest, it's going to be on the back of the leaf. You can also use your phone. Let me just grab my phone. You can also use your phone, and you just put on your the torch like so, and you can just flash the torch underneath. It's actually easier to do this at night, but yeah, there's certain areas that you really will want to have a good look and just check and see. If you do this at night and you kind of flick it around like this, your torch, then sometimes they will start moving. But of course, when you get to that stage, yeah, it's going to be more than just a precaution that you're taking care of. So the next step is to groom your plants. So get yourself a nice pair of secateurs, or if you are going to use a pair of scissors, just make sure that you label them or keep them in a place that's where you keep all your planty stuff. I tend to clean my secateurs when I'm doing a job like that, just in case there is a pest on that leaf that I'm chopping off. I don't want to be spreading that around. So I will clean my secateurs with surgical spirits, and you can find this at your chemist or your local drugstore. It's fairly cheap and very affordable and has a lot of great uses. You can use it for so many different things. I will do a mixture in like one of these squirty bottles of like a ratio of 1 to 10. And yeah, I just spray the secateurs, give them a wipe down, and I'm good to go. Removing yellowing leaves. I wish I had a yellowing leaf that I could show you, but I don't. And yeah, that sounds like I'm boasting, but I mean, I have had yellowing leaves. It's just that they've all dropped off. Yeah, removing your yellowing leaves is a really, really good move. I really wish I had one that I could find to show you and I could just chop it off. Here we go, we've got a yellowing leaf. Fabulous. Look at the new one though. Oh! So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I've already cleaned my secateurs, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go in and I'm just gonna chop this leaf off, because this leaf, being yellow, could actually attract pests. Certain pests like mozzie gnats, and I'm not sure if thrips and spider mites are attracted to the colour yellow, but you know those sticky mats. Oh, here we go. I've got sticky mats right here. But the sticky mats are made in yellow, and they're yellow for a reason. So yeah, remove any of that from your plant. You don't want to have yellowing leaves on your plant. Oh my God. So cute. And browning leaves, you want to take those off as well. And also, it's just not that pretty, is it? It's not cute. Nobody wants to see that. Next, I'm going to mix up some neem oil. Bit of a shake. So we're going to put 10 mils into a pot, and then I'm going to add, what am I going to add? Oh, and then I'm going to add 1,000 mils of water, which is like a litre. So let me just do that. I'm just going to, where's that line gone? I've actually put some in there already. I tried to use a dropper tool and that didn't work out. So I think there's probably already, I'm going to use warm water. Yeah, I think there's already about 5 in there. I'm also going to add a little bit of tea tree oil. Oh, I need both hands. So I'm going to add some tea tree oil just for the smell. I just want like a little drop. Oh, oh, that was a lot. Okay, let's add some more water. With this, I'm going to water my plants. So with plants that are in no drainage, I will use this solution. I'm going to take out this gorgeous calathea. Yeah, here we go. It's all kind of bubbling up. And I'm just going to pour that in. I've got it stood over a rack so that I can just flush the whole plant through. And I like to do this particularly with the calatheas because, yeah, they can be quite pesty. And I might be able to show you a little bit of damage on this particular plant. Let's see if I can. Yeah, so it's running through, which is fabulous. Let's see if I can find some damage. Here we go. So this is kind of my experience of thrip damage. You get these kind of like, actually I don't even know if that is one. Oh yeah, it is. You can see it on this side as well. This is another plant that I will put in the shower. It does tend to get very dusty. I don't know why, but it gets very dusty. So I showered this one last week. That's how I watered it as well. And it always seems very, very happy after a bit of a shower. I also have a lot of plants that are in no drainage. And with those plants, I tend to use hydrogen peroxide. I've got the food grade one, and with the food grade, I'm not sure if you need to be using the food grade one. It's just the one that I use. It oxygenates the soil. It can control any kind of larva eggs that have been dormant in your soil all winter. Another great reason why you should be doing this as we're going into a new season, going into summer, spring and summer. You want to try and get ahead of the game. So those eggs that have been laying dormant, we need to try and get rid of them. This hydrogen peroxide I got from Amazon, and it does come with instructions, which of course I've left on the other side of the room. But what it says is that if you're treating your plants, then you actually just go in full strength. I've always done half and half. Yeah, so you can do the same thing as I did earlier and just water the plants using the hydrogen peroxide. Let me show you some of the plants that I would probably do that on. Now the Hoyas are in a kind of no drainage situation, although they're in cups that are in a cup with holes. So in that system, it's really easy for the hydrogen peroxide and water to come out. But when I'm dealing with plants like this one, for instance, I would probably go down the route of putting it into a spray bottle. And this is the spray bottle I used, and I've labelled it so that I know exactly what's in there. And I will just go around and just spray the top of the soil or the substrate. That has been really effective. I really do believe that that's been working quite nicely for me. So next I want to talk about mozzie gnats. Now, we've spoken about the eggs and how you can get rid of those. But if you're finding that you have got adult ones flying around, get yourself some sticky fly traps. These are really, really good. I bought these from Amazon. There's 60 traps in there. It probably wouldn't be enough. Well, it definitely won't be enough for each plant to get one. But you don't need to have them in absolutely every single pot. Another little trick that actually I didn't bring any chopsticks over with me, but like I don't stick the sticky thing into the soil because I just find that they just wobble off. Sometimes they get stuck to the plants, really annoying. So I actually stick the fly trap to a chopstick and then I push the chopstick into the soil. And I find that that's a great way of using these things. I haven't opened the box yet actually, because that's something that I want to do after I've done. I want to do like a little, it won't be little actually, but I do want to do a summertime tour, plant tour. So I don't want to have sticky mats everywhere. And like I said, I haven't seen any adult flying gnats or thrips or whatever, but yeah, these are going to be your best friend. Get yourself some sticky fly traps. The next step, which is if you know that you're dealing with an adult infestation. So thrips, you'll see them flying around, or you'll see them just kind of like congregating on the back of your leaves, especially at night. The sticky mats will help a little bit, but you do want to find something that's going to move a little quicker. If you can afford to buy biological pests, then that's a fabulous route, and I will talk about that a little bit more when I turn the camera around. Or if you're more like myself where my budget's quite limited, then you're going to go in with the hard stuff. So I've got a couple of things here that I'm going to show you. For spider mite, I tend to use either a surgical spirit. If it's just one plant that I found a pest on, that I found webbing, so it's webbing that you're looking for. It's very fine webbing. And unfortunately, both the Monstera albo and the Monstera Thai constellation have this issue. I actually bought the two plants knowing, because they were in sale, I knew that they had had that problem in the past. So it is something that they could, that, you know, it's something that they're susceptible to if they become unhappy. If they're unhappy plants, then the pest will come, and generally it is spider mite. So like I said, I'm keeping on top of things now. I haven't seen any spider mite, but if I do, I'll go in with surgical spirit. I will use a ratio of 1 to 10. I'll add a little bit of dish soap. I'll put it in this bottle and spray the plant, and I will do circular motions using one of these cloths, or sometimes I'll have like really thin gloves on and I'll just do the circular motions like this in my hand to break up any type of webbing. But if there's a pile of plants that have been, especially if they've all been kind of close together like this, I'll treat the one with surgical spirits, and all of the others I will treat with this product, which is, I mean, you can find this pretty much anywhere. Plant Invigorator. It kind of covers most of the bugs, as you can see, but it does not do thrips. It doesn't say that it does thrips, although in the past I was using this for thrips. I had a little issue with thrips. I had that Melanochrysum, the Monstera adansonii, and some of my Syngoniums used to get thrips often, and I would spray them with this, and it was really effective. So yeah, you can either buy it like this where it's kind of mixed, and you get like 500 litres in this bottle, or you can buy it like this where you just mix it up yourself, and this one bottle makes 50 litres, so 100 of these basically. So yeah, it was a no-brainer really. You know, when you know you don't have a lot of money to kind of throw at things like that, then this is really cost effective. I would highly suggest it. I've also used this product in the past, SMC, which is apparently really good for spider mite. Why are you not focusing? Should I do like that? There we go. Yeah. It's got a really lovely smell. It smells delicious. I do believe that it does work very well for spider mite. But what I don't like about this product is it leaves your plants really greasy, and on the Monsteras it was fine. I mean, you can still see that these leaves are the ones that I kind of used it on, and the newest one I haven't. And you can still see it on the leaves. It's really hard to wash it off. And unfortunately, I sprayed my, what was it? I'll put some footage in of this particular plant because it's in the hallway. My Epiphyllum anguliga. Yeah, and it's just, it looks, yeah, well, you can see what it looks like. It's not happy. Okay, I think we can now move on to the final step. Okay, so we've gone through all of the preventative stuff. Now we're going to go in deep. If you have an infestation at the moment, I'm very sorry to hear about that. It's the worst. It's the scariest thing ever. And get rid of them now. Do it now before the summer really kicks in, because otherwise you're going to find yourself running around your apartment frantically. So yeah, do it now. So biological pests. Actually, let me just finish off with these products. This one, this is a pesticide, and I'm currently not using this. I haven't used this product since last year, like at the end of the summer. I think that's correct. Yeah. I've been sticking to more of the natural stuff that I know that if I do go down the route of using beneficial mites or biological pests, this stuff will, or any type of pesticide, whatever pesticide you're using, whether you're treating mildew, whatever, it will harm the mites. Now, there's two different types of mites. I've got them written down because they've got really long and quite difficult names. I might actually just put the names up. Where did I write it? Okay, so the first, which is going to treat thrips. And these are still a preventative. They tend to move quite slowly. And keep in mind that they only last for 4 to 6 weeks. So you will need to keep buying these. If you're using them as a preventative, which is what they're for, you'll be buying these every month. So the first is for thrips. It's called Amblicius cucumeris. I'll write that up. That's for thrips. The other one, which is for spider mite, is Amblicius andersoni. Amblicius andersoni. So those two products will come in like a sachet. I'll put a photo up. You just kind of hook it onto your plant. I showed you my Splendid earlier. With that particular plant, looking at the instructions on the website, I would need to put at least 2 or 3 on just that one plant for it to act as a preventative, because like I said, they don't move, which is kind of good actually, because at least they're not going to be all over your apartment, because that was one concern that I did have. But yeah, you're going to be using that as a preventative. You're going to be paying for that every month. And I can't wait until I get to a stage where I'm earning enough, especially from this channel, where I can start using a more natural and like a biological pest control. But at this stage that I am at, I've decided to go down the route of just using the kind of natural stuff, the neem oil. I don't know if I'm going to use the SMC again. Surgical spirits. I'm sticking to what I've showed you so far as my preventative. If I do get an infestation of spider mite, in that case I'm going to use a product called Photocilius persimilis. I'm so sorry. That was just awful. Am I actually saying that? Photocilius. Anyway, I'm going to write that up. These particular mites move very quickly. So if you know that you're under attack, these guys are going to move and they are going to just exterminate. They're going to eliminate that spider mite issue for you. Those are specifically for spider mite. Now, I did write down the one for thrips, but now I don't have it on my page. I will put it up on the screen for the thrip equivalent. Yeah, so you'll get like a little pot of these mites. When you open them up, you'll actually see them moving around. They're quite small, so they're not scary to look at. They're tiny, but they're really quick. So that's going to be my way forward. That's what I'm going to do. Obviously, I'm not going to buy those right now because I do not have spider mites and I do not want to have that in my home. I don't know, you're meant to use them straight away. Like, you can't store them. Apparently they'll start eating each other if you don't really use them and release them quick enough. So yeah, you want to order those when you really need them. So I'm sorry that I don't actually have them to show you, but hopefully I'll never have to buy them. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about, oh, I didn't bring any of my new plants, but I wanted to talk about new plants. Do I not have one in here? Oh, I do have one. I do. Here we go. So I recently bought this anthurium from my store. It wasn't labelled, but I do believe it is the Warwickwianarium, the queen. And she's absolutely gorgeous. Now, with new plants, I will quarantine them. I had this one in the kitchen for about a week. I didn't really want to disturb the anthurium in particular. I got another new plant. I got my very first ficus. Oh, I really want to go and get it. I want to go and get it. It's so cute. I'm back. Here it is, my very first ficus. Look at it. It's so cute. I love it. It's the Taninki. I think that I'm saying that right. But anyway, yeah, so this one, for some reason, I didn't quarantine. I know, it's very bad. I put it in the hallway. Now, in the hallway at the moment, it's all predominantly like cactus and ripsalis. So I felt it was fairly safe. But yeah, I don't know why I didn't quarantine this one. But yeah, generally you should quarantine your plant. Actually, let's go back a step. When you're in the store and you're looking at a plant, pick the plant up, give it a little tap, give it some tap, and if you can find like a brightly lit area, kind of just take it over there. If there's anything in there that's flying, it will fly out. Give it a tap in the light. Sometimes I will squeeze the plant out of its pot and have a look at the roots as well, especially if it's a rescue plant. What is that? I always think I'm finding it's velvet leaves. They just attract everything. Anyway, I'll give it another wash. Yeah, so I do that. And to be honest, if I find someone in the shop doing that, I just think, yeah, well done you. Brilliant. Because now you're not going to come back and complain that you've bought a plant that, you know, whatever. Although my plants are beautiful. I love them all. It's so funny, actually. I get to work and I'm like, oh, you know, they're all my babies. I say goodbye to every single one of them when they're sold. I'm like, bye then. Anyway, yeah, going back to this. So when you're in the shop, you want to like just check for that. Obviously, you're going to be checking for webbing as well. If you see any kind of webbing, put that plant down. Or if you are, you know, if you don't mind treating the plant yourself, take it to the cashier, say, you know, I have noticed that this plant has a pest and I would like to take care of it. Would you take a percentage off? They will say yes. They can't say no. I mean, I can't see why anyone would say no. If you've seen a pest on that plant and you're willing to take it from the shop, which means it's not going to infest anything else, I mean, if they don't give you a discount, they're clearly not thinking straight. So yeah, you will get a discount on a plant that you can see has got pests. Like, there's just no doubt. I don't know why I keep doing that. This plant does not have pests. You don't, do you? Yeah, so do that. Quarantine them when you get home. Now, I'm the kind of person that, in my mind, I think already my plant is in shock just moving from the store to my home. It's going to be a completely different environment. The lighting's going to be different. The humidity is going to be different. The heating's going to be different. Even the vibration of the amount of people that go in and out of the shop is going to be different in my home. It's much calmer here. So I do like to just repot them straight away. They're in shock anyway. I'm shocking them a little bit more, but I'm also giving them the ultimate experience when it comes to soil. Because when you buy a plant, generally it will come in a really basic cocoa coir mix, especially those plants from places like IKEA. Beautiful plants. People always seem to think that they die. It's the soil. Change the soil as soon as possible. There's no nutritional value in that soil, and it's unlikely that you are using a high enough fertilizer, or, you know, like I think there's another product called, it's gone, I can't remember it. Someone was telling me about it. So like, instead of changing the soil, like if you've had a plant and you've got a really big plant and it's been in its same soil for a really long time, there's a product that you can use to replenish the soil. If you know the name of that, just leave it in the comments down below, because I think I mean, I don't have any plants that are too heavy for me to lift, but for those of you that do and you are a little bit concerned about that, it sounds amazing. Okay, so we've done the new plant stuff. There was something else that I wanted to say. What was it? Something else about new plants. Oh yeah, and of course, just, you know, wipe them down. Give them a good clean when you get home. Wipe down those leaves, you know. With the anthurium, I just put it under the tap and just kind of washed it down in that way. I will do it again. Velvet leaves, you can't really rub on them. And then I'm just kind of like just giving them a good check every time that I look at them. New plants, of course, will always get to be seen, get a good looking at. They'll get stared at fairly often. So I'm keeping a good eye on those. Oh, so that is pretty much everything that I wanted to tell you. I do feel like there was something that I just thought of just off the top of my head, and now it's disappeared. Yeah, so going back to the beneficial mites, actually, you do need to have the temperatures. The temperature has to be, I think, over 20 centigrade for a lot of these sachet preventative biological pests to activate. So using them in a cold room isn't really going to do anything. And then I think if it's too hot, they don't work. So I'm not sure about the preventative mites for me, because the temperatures in here can reach some real crazy heights. And yeah, I think I'm just going to stick to the really active ones. I hope that this helped you kind of try and figure out what you want to do with your own situation, with your collection. I tried to cover as much as I could. I hope that I covered everything for all of you, depending on what your budget is, or, you know, all the things. And yeah, let me know if there's something that I may have missed that maybe I could just add to my routine. There's something that maybe you are doing. I think I spoke enough about the individual products. I hope that I did. The hydrogen peroxide, I could actually talk about a lot more. It's possible that I could just do one video on just the hydrogen peroxide. There's so many different benefits, not only for your plants, but also for yourself. But for the plants, you can use it for mildew, you can use it for oxygenating the soil, you can also use it for larvae or eggs, pest eggs. But the downside to using hydrogen peroxide is you really don't want to be using it too often, because it can break down the nutritional value of your soil or the substrate that you're using. So keep that in mind. And I didn't actually do a hydrogen peroxide like now, but if you've never done one, don't be scared. When you do add that mixture to your soil, it'll make like a fizzing sound, which actually is really kind of, I liked it. I was like, oh, it's really, well, it's definitely gonna do something. Like, you can really hear it. So yeah, that's the last thing I want to tell you. Sorry, it's a little bit haphazard towards the end, but I just wanted to make sure that I, you know, covered everything. And yeah, I do hope that your plants are happy and healthy. I also hope that you're treating yourself well. If you did enjoy the video, do give me a thumbs up. Hit the notification bell if you are a subscriber, because YouTube keeps switching off my notification bells. Like, I switched on all my notification bells because there's a lot of different channels, a lot of things that I like to watch on YouTube. I keep having to switch them back on. I don't know how often I'm having to do that. Maybe once a month I'm having to switch them back on again. So if you are a subscriber, do switch on that notification bell so it'll tell you when I'm uploading new videos. We're going into summertime now, so I will be doing some more videos. I do post every Sunday, but I will be doing some additional ones, some little like surprise ones during the week. So keep an eye out for those. If you haven't hit the subscribe button yet, go ahead and do that. I'd love to see you here again. And yeah, I'm going to let you guys go. Have a fabulous week, and I'll see you here again very soon. Until then, bye.